Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the stream. We'll be starting with round three of the Sultans Cup and a couple of very interesting games lined up for you guys today. So let's just check out the winner brackets here. Right, so first we have Stackers X versus Vlan Clan. Stackers X possibly the strongest team in the tournament, or at least they had the strongest players as part of a single team. And Vlan Clan is basically, I think it's three or four people who are all around 1400 EZO, so should be a close match, I assume. Hey man, Doomster, what's up? You wanna co-cast with me? And by the way, the second match we'll be casting is Three Man Saw versus Logisticas. So that should also be a pretty interesting game. We have 4 and 3 Man Saw, who I believe has crossed into the 1900 ELO barrier. So yeah, should be a couple of interesting sets. And if we have time, uh, we'll be casting a game from the loser bracket as well. So I mean, as you can see here, it was supposed to be Master Plan versus Shikari as the first game. Unfortunately, Master Plan decided to forfeit. I actually don't know the reason for their forfeit. So, yeah, basically, so Master Plan is forfeited and they're out of the tournament, which means that Shikari would have gone up against the Black Sails. Let me just refresh the image over here. So, Shikari was supposed to go up against Black Sails, and unfortunately, since Black Sails has also pulled off the tournament, Shikari basically gets to go directly into round 3 of the loser bracket. I wonder why this isn't working. Let me just check. Yeah, you guys got bored. Or, I mean, I believe it was because of some connectivity issues or lag issues or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but yeah. So, okay, anyway, the brackets are up. So, Shikari is directly into round 3 of the loser bracket, and we'll see who will meet them. So if we do have time, we'll be casting Hitabase versus Wobbles as well. If not, then we'll be casting them tomorrow. Admin Sports Star team. Right. So Ranzo, wait, which admin poached your team? So yeah. Anyway, what I'll do meanwhile is get to the Civ drafts. So here's the Civ draft. Oh man, I had to do the casting. I did not want to play and do the casting at the same time. I mean, just casting itself is a big chore. Yeah, I mean, the next tournament, which will be announced in due time, I can promise you that me and Babaji, both of us, will be a part of Master Plan again. So should be fun. Anyway, yeah. So I'll just fast forward the draft over here, and okay, fair enough. So. Wow, okay, so a couple of interesting bans from both the players here. Let me just read their home maps. So, for Lan Clan, the home maps are Arena and Team Acropolis. And Stackers X have picked Hideout and Golden Pit as their home maps. So, I mean, both the teams have gone for one sort of closed off map. Uh, I mean, Arena is pretty closed off, and Hideout again depends on, what the team strategy is. Team Acropolis can be sort of a boomy map, but you need some feudal aggression. Golden Pit, so I mean, yeah, anything can happen. So, yeah, now that we know that, we can sort of just look at the civs here. So, Lan Clan, who Bloodlust plays for, has banned Saracens and Burmese, and meanwhile, Stackers X have banned Indians and Celts. For the team picks, okay, so Lanclan has got Franks, Britons, and Ethiopians. Man, these are some extremely good saves that they've got. I assume they'll be using them on Arena. Sorry, Arabia. And meanwhile, Stackers have got Khmer, Cumans, and Mayans. So, Cumans and Mayans, of course, extremely nice saves, Square as well. But I mean, for Arabia, I don't know. Should be interesting to see what civs they actually end up using on Arabia. Langsan after that has gone for Tatars and Berbers and Byzantines. Meanwhile, Stackers have gone for Vietnamese, Koreans, and Lithuanians. So, yeah, I mean, these are sort of Nice civs, I would say. Vietnamese, I love playing with Vietnamese. On the other side, you have Vlan Clan with Berbers, again with their cheaper stable units and everything. And meanwhile, stackers have got a pretty nice cavalry civ in the form of Lithuanians. And finally, we have Magyars, Vikings, and Slavs for Vlan Clan, and Portuguese, Malians, and Japanese. So, should be interesting. Depends on what maps we actually end up playing. So, yeah. That should be nice. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the scene transition. No chance. Will you be joining me? I have posted the zip file in the community manager's channel, so if you're interested, you can just download that and we can go. And yeah, so I actually have the game loaded up. I've been ready with the overlay and everything, so I can just transition into that, and that should be it. Let me just see if I can get the chat overlay working. I wonder why this isn't working. Let me just check again. Give me a second here, guys. I will just try and fix this. Should be some sort of a Streamlabs issue. Because I've been having some issues with Streamlabs today anyway, so yeah, possibly. I mean, it could be that. Let me just try and adjust this a bit. Yeah, I believe BR was also asking, if I was alone, he could just join me in the chat. So yeah, BR, if you have the time, you can join me. You're most welcome to. If you have an issue joining the community manager's channel, I can just drag you over there. So that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so this is extremely weird. For some reason, I'm not getting the viewer counts within Streamlabs, nor am I getting the chat inside the overlay. So, I guess what I can do in that case is just open up Twitch on my phone, and I can look at the chat that way. I mean, of course, I'll need to mute myself. Yeah, let me just... Wait, how the hell do you mute this? Okay, yeah. So, I guess I'll be following the chat on my phone. And yeah, in that case, I guess we can just go live now. So, yeah, let's go. Right, so we have Bloodless. I assume was playing as the Pocket. He is playing as the Franks. We've got the first flank is Vorpy, who's playing as the Tatars, and the other flank is Blizzard 42, who's playing as the Ethiopians. Hey Zed, welcome man, welcome to the stream. And okay, and Instagram here has slaughtered his what? Okay, so Instagram has slaughtered his sheep way away from his TC. Anyway, he's playing as the Koreans. The Pocket, I assume, would be Morty. Yeah, exactly. So it's Morty who's playing as the Khmer, and finally the other flank is Blapze who's playing as the Vietnamese. So should be an interesting game here. I mean, we have Ethiopians against the Vietnamese, so both of them have some sort of bonus on their archers. The Vietnamese, of course, get the higher HP on their archers, and meanwhile, with Ethiopians, they get the faster firing archers. So that should be an interesting game. On the other side, I mean, Voppy, I believe, should have an edge. Wait, what? So Voppy should have an edge on Instagram anyway, but Instagram has decided to do something here. He's playing as the Korean, so I expect there might be some sort of a tower play over here. But I mean, it's too early for that. It's just not even 2.5 minutes into the game. So what? This guy is just going to run into. What? He's going to run into. Okay, so he's not running into Whoppy's TC, but I wonder where Right, right. Okay, fine. That is some extremely constructive play here from Instagram, and I don't believe Woppy has spotted this yet. Okay, so he hasn't. Uh, right. What else is about to be named here for Woppy? And I mean, meanwhile, otherwise it's just standard play from both the teams. The rest of the players, I mean, but oh man, so Poppy is in for a pretty nasty surprise once he realizes what has happened.
Salam.
And okay, so he does not lose his villager to the boar. Fair enough. Nobody has actually yet. And Instagram is busy slaughtering his sheep outside his TC. There might be a second slaughter here about to happen. And man, this is like peak Low Legends territory over here. Looking at some straggler trees. Of course, I mean, in this case, it is definitely justified because he's spending the wood on all this shit here that's about to, Woppy is just about to. Okay, so Woppy has now realized what has happened. I mean, yeah, exactly. Tatars can just ignore the. I mean, they can ignore the berries for sure, but the gold, this could be. And Woppy
Salam.
actually loses a villager here to uh to these three, and he loses a scout as well. I assume Woppy will be
Emrenis.
telling his team what is about to happen, and he was almost about to lose a villager to a boar as well. So he had to build this house just to save his villager. Yeah, Woppy. No. Oh man. I mean, see, here's the thing. Instagram, in all the games that we've cast, we've seen that he's sort of the weaker player here. So if nothing else, we are seeing some extremely toxic behavior here, which means that the pressure is actually on Woppy to, try and figure out a way out of this mess rather than
Hey.
applying any sort of pressure immediately as soon as he reaches the feudal age. So, I mean, in that sense, it uh, it is sort of the right move, I would say. I do assume Morty has been busy coaching Instagram about this, and some
Hellamen.
see, I don't understand this, Woffy.
Hey.
You make your walls, right? Instagram can just place some new walls around your own walls. So, like, this makes no sense. And okay, so meanwhile we have Bloodless who's already clicked up to the feudal age. So has Morty for that matter. And we also have Blaple who has clicked up. And where the hell is Bloodless going now? Seems like all these villagers want to go on some sort of expeditions here. Yeah, exactly, no chance. What the hell is this play? But I mean, it makes for an interesting game, right? And Woppy, I guess, just got too bored, and or maybe he just wants to sort of safeguard this much of the gold. So yeah, but I think Instagram has decided to just. Oh, he hasn't gone back. Right, right. He's busy. Uh, right, right. I wish I could hear the voice chat of Vlan Clan here, or at least Woppy's voice chat. Right, so unfortunately the chat won't work for some reason. I'll try and get that fixed after this set, I assume. And so Morty has got to feudal age, so has Bloodless for that matter, and we already have the stables coming up. Idle TC wise, yeah, Boppy to be expected. The guy had to weather this bullshit around his base here. I don't get the mill, maybe just to place the farms. And the Tatar sheep bonus coming in extremely handy over here, actually. Uh, Instagram, this won't work now because I assume he's already got some scouts being produced. So Instagram loses one villager. Morty might. Okay, so Morty actually had the presence of mind to not lose the scout to the TC. But Morty is going to lose this scout, of course, because these are Frank scouts, right? So they can definitely kill the Khmer Scout. No upgrades on them. Of course, not yet, at least. And right, so now Instagram has lost two of his forward villagers. I believe he lost the third one as well, while fighting at Warpy's base. So yeah, anyway, fair enough. Unfortunately, what this means is Warpy is extremely late to the feudal age. Still a minute to go, so that's what 13-minute feudal age. Man. And meanwhile, we have Morty, who is pretty much completely walled up. Uh, Unfortunately, he had to go for these walls, but I mean, yeah, there you go. Nothing you can do about it. Blaple already massing up a few archers. Does he have the... Okay, so he has the blacksmith yet. No upgrades on them yet. On these archers, I mean. Right, and we have Blizzard 42, who's basically trying to just finish off his walls. I believe... Okay, so there's still one palisade wall that needs some work before he's completely walled. And yeah, he is. Okay, so fair enough. And now we have a scout fight over here. Bloodless actually getting quite a lot of scouts out. Unfortunately, he still managed to lose one villager to Morty scouts. And okay, so Morty's got 3 scouts at this point. Let me just check the numbers here. Okay, so Morty has 4 scouts compared to 7 for Bloodless. However, what is happening here is that Morty is just baiting Bloodless's scouts, so these scouts are not able to go forward. Fucking hell. Yeah, I mean, there is a 10-mil difference for sure, but the thing is, what this has done is, like, you know, just throw off Warpy completely. Like, the guy just managed to get to feudal age at 13 minutes, and he's building a stable. Okay. So, yeah, this should be interesting. And, I mean, as I was saying here, Morty with his 6 scouts has done way more damage than Bloodless has with his 9 scouts. Because Bloodless is just busy chasing these scouts here. And okay, so Blizzard has just decided to make a preemptive tower here. Which makes sense actually. Considering the fact that these Vietnamese archers are already in and they have fletching now. Blizzard still does not. He does have the black. Okay, and he has just queued up fletching. And oh man, he's losing villagers. He's lost 2 already. He might lose 3 more. That's 1 more. That's 2. Yep. There we go. So that's 5 villagers that Blizzard has lost over here. And Whoopee now with his scouts, I mean he can't do any sort of damage because Morty, not only is he fully walled, I do believe he might be close to clicking up as well. Yeah, so Morty is just about to click up anyway. He's just getting his market ready. He's already got the stable, so yeah, he should be clicking up within say a couple of seconds, I believe. Yeah, there we go. And meanwhile, Bloodless is still busy getting his wheelbarrows. This is actually gonna be a pretty quick game, I believe. Because it's just awful here for Vlan Clan. They've got a shitload of scouts, but these scouts have... I mean, it's not just the fact that they haven't done any sort of damage to their opponents, but Bloodless's own teammates have lost a shitload of villagers or economy to these archers and scouts. From Morty and Blaple, obviously. So, yeah, man, Dear, I mean, if you're talking about the worth of whatever shenanigans that Instagram did, I do believe that was extremely valuable. So even though Warpy is doing some sort of damage on Instagram, we'll just check that after we finish with this fight. But I mean, long term, what is happening here? I mean, Morty is just about to hit Castle Age in like 45 seconds, whereas Bloodless still has like almost 2.5 minutes before he gets to Castle Age. And he lost a bunch of scouts as well. So Morty should be about to, just start pumping out knights at this point. He's researching bloodlines. We'll see what sort of upgrades he has on his knights once they come out. But yeah, and right. So the Koreans player, of course, with the towers, to be expected. I mean, I expected these towers here, but I guess he wasn't able to keep his villagers alive. So, okay, right. Let's just take a look at Whoppy's base here. So Whoppy does have access to this gold. He's got a lumber camp here, which is, I mean, he can get maybe a couple more villagers over there without any issues. He's got, I think, like 2 or 3 more villagers here. But, I mean, long term, this is looking extremely bad for Vlan Clan. Although, I mean, I say that, but Vlan Clan actually has more military compared to Stackers. So there is that. And yeah. So, okay, these are still +1 knights with bloodlines though. And let me just see where they are deciding to go. I mean, at this point, it doesn't make sense to do much towards Whoppy. Just go into Bloodless, and Bloodless graciously leaves open a hole here for Morty's knights to get in. So Bloodless is going to lose at least 2 more villagers over here. Man. It's just, I mean, small misplays which have resulted in all of this rubbish that is going on here inside his own base. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a criminal act, man. How can you leave this hole open? I don't understand. If you're ever unsure, man, just drag a palisade wall. If nothing else, maybe you cover up a hole. Worst case, what do? You just get a second layer of walls, right? And Morty is inside Bloodless's base now. Bloodless does not have the knights here, so Morty with 4 knights, Bloodless has 2. See, here's the thing. So Bloodless will have quicker reinforcements compared to Morty. So that is obviously there. Bloodless, I believe, yeah. So Bloodless actually has more upgrades on his knights, but all this eco that is being damaged here, the lumber camp, this lumber camp is completely idle now. And Bloodless is just quick walling these gold villagers in, but this is this is extremely inefficient here. And okay, so Bloodless decides to just drop a second TC. Let's just check. Morty is already on 3 TCs, booming. Yeah, so villager-wise, Stackers has just overtaken Vlan Clan. We've got 117 to 115 villagers. Whereas, I mean, Vlan Clan still has slightly more military, but what is... right, so Blizzard, I think he's just content keeping his military inside his own base. Meanwhile, he's got this big ball of archers heading forwards. I assume there's a forward siege workshop coming as well. Yeah, there we go. We have a siege workshop on a hill, and I mean, I'm not ripping Bloodless or whatever, man. Bloodless actually, sorry, not Bloodless. It was Agent P, so it's a different game. But anyway, my point here is, I mean, these transitions were slightly late, which meant that he was basically caught with his pants down, and then on top of that, he had this nice, beautiful hole here for Morty's knights to get in. So, and I mean, you can just see the damage. So Bloodless is having to keep his knights at his own base. Meanwhile, Morty is free to do any sort of damage that he wants. Yeah. So these are crossbows now. Vietnamese crossbows against Ethiopian feudal archers. We've got a siege workshop as well, which is producing a mangonel right now. So, I mean, again, Blizzard getting to Castle Age at 28-29 minutes. Holy shit. Ah, okay, yeah. Morty is ripping Bloodless, for sure. Just look at these fucking archers. He's got 32 Ethiopian archers. I mean, once he gets to Castle Age, and if he can get the upgrades, this army can destroy. But the issue here is he's already got these 19 Vietnamese archers, and we've got Morty's knights following behind, and a monastery as well. So yeah, so Morty is just having fun at this point. Meanwhile, we have Boppy who is trying to break into Morty's base. Let's see if that happens. Or okay, so Boppy can get in now. He's got two openings inside Morty's base. Does Morty decide to pull his knights back? I guess he'll have to. I mean, there is no alternative here. And wait, this could actually be a pretty nice comeback here for Vlan Clan because he's got his knights, bloodless I mean, and we've got these Ethiopian crossbows as well. So this can easily push back Blapley. Morty's already had to go back inside his own base. Unfortunately, not very good army positioning here by Blizzard. These crossbows should be here. But I mean, yeah, these +2 knights are definitely taking care of these crossbows. And Woppy has done, man, Woppy has actually done quite a lot of damage here. Let's just check the KD. Right, so Woppy, wow, that is a pretty kick-ass KD. He's killed 28 villagers, and a lot of these would be Mortys, I presume. And he's still just going under the TC and killing villagers. So yeah, this is a pretty nice comeback actually for Vlan Clan. But I mean, long term, what exactly is going on? And yeah, so I mean, fair enough. Morty has managed to clean up all the stuff that was inside his base, but now Woppy's got 18 knights. Sorry, that's not Woppy, that's Morty. So Morty's got 18 knights, so Woppy's 18 knights. We've got 36 crossbows for Blizzard and 19 knights for Bloodless. So military numbers actually looking better for Vlan Clan over here. And wait, what the hell is this? Oh man. Blapley can actually lose a lot of villagers here. Unfortunately, okay, so Bloodless will spot this, which means that Blapley is about to lose. I think that's like 12 or... Wait, how many villagers is that? That's 4 there. Yeah, so that's 9. There were 10 villagers. Yeah, so he has basically lost all of them. Bloodless, right? We're talking about Bloodless over here. And Morty's actually having to go to the aid of Blapley over here. Because Blizzard is doing a pretty nice job of killing off these lumberjacks over here. And I mean, if you look at the knight numbers, Vlan Clan has a massive advantage over here. We've got 46 knights for Vlan Clan to just 19 for Morty. And crossbow numbers, again, Blizzard actually has more crossbows than Blapley over here. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly, they were walled out, man. Wow, the big battle going on here, actually. I think that's pretty much the entire military on the field is inside Blapley's base. So Blapley's base is about to be completely wrecked. If of course Morty and Blapley cannot, push out these knights and these crossbows. The thing is, there's no forward siege coming from Blapley or from sorry, not Blapley. I mean Blizzard or Bloodless. So I mean, there's that. And stackers, I assume. Okay, so this is actually a nice castle here from Blizzard. Sort of saves his eco over here, and Morty, meanwhile, has got to Imperial Age. So has Instagram, I believe. We actually missed him clicking up. And yeah, so Morty's already about to get Cavalier. What about Bloodless? So Bloodless, I don't think. Let me just check his resources here. Yeah, so Bloodless is nowhere close to Imperial Age at this point. What is that blue and yellow's base, Bombay Gypsy? This is what the blue part is in red's base. Inside blue's base, just I mean he tried to do the same shenanigans that he did on Whoppy, but it was too late by that point. And yeah, so Morty should just pull these knights back. They are about to become Cavalier, so just wait for the upgrade, then he can start pushing in. They can actually take fights under the castle at that point. Of course, Blizzard actually has a massive military here. But, I mean, what I don't get is why is Blizzard just chilling back here? These crossbows should be here. If nothing else, he does know about this mining camp over here. So he can just go there, harass those gold villagers, and yeah. And Bloodless, yeah, now, I mean, he's having to run back, of course. And he still hasn't clicked up. Of course, he does not have the resources at this point, and yeah, I mean, it's basically call time for him. So try and save your knights. But I mean, long term, yeah, these cavaliers will of course just take care of all the knights. So yeah, Morty transitioning to Imperial faster. Just I mean, it's still anybody's game. Vlan Clan has a massive eco lead here. They've got 260 villagers almost to 200 for stackers. And military numbers are also similar. Nice. 40-minute wheelbarrow. So, though I don't understand what Blizzard, yeah. I mean, yeah, so I just checked. Blizzard does not have a university, which means he does not have ballistics. At 40 minutes, you're getting wheelbarrow, and you still haven't resolved ballistics. Definitely some misplays here. Okay, so Bloodless has clicked up. What about his resources? I mean, he does not have the resources at this point. He does not have the farm villagers either. I mean, he's just got like 24 on farms. He needs more on farms. And I mean, another thing here which I sort of find surprising is Bloodless has put no villagers on stone. Franks, of course, with the cheaper castles can be extremely valuable. Late Castle Age, Imperial Age. When you just want to stop the raid. Because Stackers is, of course, I mean, Morty is just about to get in anyway. And, I mean, at this point, Bloodless has just 5 knights. So, yeah. Okay, and Whoppy actually coming in with his knights. But, yeah, I mean, Bloodless has lost pretty much his entire military. What else is going on? Yeah, Instagram sending some fights to raid, I suppose. But, I mean, yeah. So Bloodless loses this TC. We've got Whoppy with his Cavaliers as well. But Bloodless will lose quite a lot of villagers here, I presume. And meanwhile, on the other side, we have the same issue here. So Blaplay basically applied pressure. That's the only thing I can say. Blizzard had pretty much for the entire game more military compared to Blaplay. But okay, so I believe that Treb is about to go down. Does he have any? He has villagers here. He can just keep repairing the Treb if he wants to. But I mean, yeah, Bloodless with just 45 villagers is looking pretty much like the GG. So even though we've got Instagram also at 25 villagers, but I mean, here's the thing: Instagram is the weaker player, so there wasn't much expected from his side apart from whatever shenanigans he did, in the Dark Age. But I mean, on the other side, you have Bloodless, who's I think he's one of the strongest players in their team. So him being the pocket and being at just 46 villagers is looking extremely dire. Ah, okay, and we have Morty, who's also mixed in some light cap now for the raids, I presume, and yeah, doing a shitload of damage. Putting a TC here at this point, I mean, it's way too late. Uh, there was a short period of time where Vlan Clan could have taken the initiative and just pushed forward. Instead, they decided to hold back, and yeah, I mean now we've got these Vietnamese obelisks with chemistry and everything. I assume they've got all the other upgrades. Okay, so apart from the armor upgrade, they have everything else. And yeah, this is pretty close to the GG. Let's see what Woppy can actually do, because Woppy, apart from the initial aggression, he has not actually been targeted much. So, which is why, I mean, you can still see, uh, these cavaliers from him, and he's got a villager count of 106. But yeah, I mean, long term, what can you do? And even though Blizzard has got to Imperial Age, I don't believe he's. Yeah, I mean, he does not have the resources yet to get the Obelisk upgrade, which means these are still just crossbows with Bracer. And okay, so yeah, Instagram sending some war wagons in Woppy's base. I mean, of course, they're not going to do any damage, but here's the thing, right? Whatever uh, aggression that Instagram does on Woppy's base means that Woppy has to actually send some military back just to save his own base. And this will be a Doubt Castle, of course. Is Morty sending any more villagers? Okay, he's not. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, this point, Blizzard is pretty much dead. We've got Woppy, who is sort of surviving. He's got this massive military, but he's deciding to just waste it on, this castle here. And Morty, I guess, will just end up making this castle over here. Unless Woppy decides what. Oh, so Woppy can actually see this castle. Okay, but for now, this is being ignored. And yeah, I mean, now once these Khmer Hussars start coming in, Bloodless, I don't believe can do much at this point. So Bloodless with just 36 villagers, we've got Blizzard with just 39, and Blizzard's base is, I mean, just pretty much wiped out completely at this point. This TC, yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's even building the TC at this point. Like, the game is pretty much close to over anyway. Woppy's, I mean, it could be a situation where Woppy's basically, just told his team to let his military face it out. He's trying to build a defensive castle to try and save his eco at this point. But yeah, I mean, these guys, they have the trebs, they've got the military, so yeah, nothing can be done at this point, I believe. Okay, so we have two doubt castles here from Morty. But yeah, I mean, long term, nothing much can be done about this. So, I mean, these Vietnamese obelisks, yeah, this TC is going down. He's got trebs here. He's got a forward castle, so he can just keep making trebs. And yeah, Woppy, I think, is the one who's basically told his team to, just sit it out for a while. Yeah, Purple is dead, man. And he's got some Ratan archers as well. And I do believe this will be Vlan Clan's final stand. So once these cavaliers, they go down, or once he has just a small number left, I think they are just going to resign at this point, because I mean there's nothing left. Bloodless is dead. He's got just 51 villagers. He's being raided constantly from Morty. And yeah. And Morty has basically just decided to start making trash. I mean, we saw he was making hussars. These cavaliers won't go down to anything at this point anyway. So yeah, I mean, he can just keep making hussars and halbs. Should be enough to finish off Bloodless completely. Hmm. Uh, so right, they've got markets here. Will we see uh these halves taking down a castle today? Because I mean I don't believe Woppy has murder holes. He does have a university, right? But yeah, I mean we could be seeing these 36 oh sorry 26 halberdiers taking down a castle. Because why the hell not, right? And we've got some war wagons from Instagram as well. Man, please get your upgrades. You've been in Imperial Age for a while now. You should be having elite war wagons at this point. Right, and we've got Blapre, who's going for the Halberdier upgrade. Okay, so unfortunately we won't see these halves take down the castle because we've got Trebs over here. And Morty finally manages to make a castle that doesn't go down. Two actually, right? Oh, three. Right. So yeah, we're looking at different parts of the map, but yeah. And yes, so we do have the markets coming in. I mean, it doesn't make sense at this point. This is pretty much GG anyway. I guess, I mean, yeah, so there we go. So Bloodless just decides to call the GG. I mean, there was nothing left. There was a small window, as I had discussed, where, Vlan Clan could have applied a lot of pressure and possibly even finished off Zapze, but they just decided to pull back. I assume it was because Morty was raiding Bloodless at that point. But yeah, I mean, if that hadn't happened, if these guys had gone forward and possibly finished off Zapze, we could have been looking at a different outcome. Anyway, so yeah, that's game one. Let me just update the scoreboard and let's take a look at the stats. And give me a second. What I'll also do is update the other scoreboard. Yeah, so the scoreboard should be updated for you guys. And yeah, meanwhile, let's just take a look at the military numbers. So Morty coming out on top. I mean, it was sort of expected considering he's like way stronger compared to anybody else. But yeah, I mean, Woppy actually did much better than what I expected him to do, considering the sort of shit that was going on in his base in the Dark Age. So that was a pretty nice comeback from him. Unfortunately, yeah, I mean they just couldn't finish off Blapre. If they had done that, Morty would have had to sort of face a sort of a 2v1 situation or even a 3v1, which could have been interesting. Yeah, so I mean the Elos for Vlan Clan, they are pretty much all 1400 players, around 1400 1v1s, whereas on the other side we've got Stackers Morty, who is I believe 1900 2000 Elo. Unfortunately I don't know. So if somebody's in the chat, right? So he's 2K, and we've got Instagram, who I believe is around 900 Elo, and Blape is 1400. So yeah, economy wise, Khmer with the farms and everything, yeah, to be expected. But I mean, he basically collected more resources than anybody else, and we have some tributes coming in here as well from Woppy to Bloodless. So I mean, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things anyway because they lost, so the tribute part is irrelevant. But I don't know, could be to just help him get to Imperial. Although I think he had the resources anyway. I am not 2K man. I would be 2K in a 4v4 Black Forest, I suppose. Nowhere else. And yeah, so the Imperial time from Morty, and I mean, Blacklis taking 6 more minutes to get to Imperial Age was sort of, the big kicker here. Same thing for Blizzard even. 28 minutes to get to Castle Age, man. Whereas your opponent got into Castle Age at, 23 minutes. That's just a massive, massive misplay from your side. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, man. Sorry if like my inputs are not insightful or whatever. And yeah, so Instagram it's just 39 villagers, but it did not matter in the end. Team game ranking, yeah, should be 2000, I suppose. I don't play a lot of ranked TGs. I only used to play them with my own team master plan, and unfortunately, we haven't been playing a lot, so yeah. Although currently I believe it's around 1800. Though I haven't played, so my ELO might not even be visible at this point. My TG ELO, I mean. Okay, so this means we can get into game 2, which would be Arena, one of Vlan Clan's home maps. And I see that it is in 3 parts here. Hmm. Blizzard, you're 1100. Man, you should have sent those crossbows forward. You had way more numbers compared to him, which, I mean, of course, you can see now. You could have seen it in the replay after your games ended, but just holding back was just a completely wrong move at that point. If you have the military, just go forward. Even if Morty is sending his knights or whatever, Woppy was making a few knights at that point, so he could have just defended your crossbows at that point. So yeah, that is game 2. We have yeah, Henry is also 2K. Is he? I believe Henry is actually better than like way better than me. I mean, you can't offend me, man. I know what my level is, so it doesn't affect me. If like my only thing is, if you guys have any more valuable inputs or whatever, you can just put them in the chat. Or man, I'm not the oldest 2K in India. I'm just 33, man. You guys always take the piss out of my age. So yeah, anyway, we have game 2 here. And right, so this is pretty much the same team that we had in same team that we had in game 1, so we can just start here. Blood is playing as the Byzantines. We have Blizzard 42 who's playing as the Slavs, and who's the other flank? Right, so we have Woppy playing. Wait, what? We have Woppy playing as the Berbers as flank. Mm, yeah, you just have to, Woppy or anybody, any of his friends, if you guys are in the chat, please just. I mean, it's Arena, so in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But Woppy going for Berbers as a flank is extremely interesting. And we have Slav's pocket here for Blizzard, and the other flank is Bloodless playing as the Byzantines, right? And for Stackers X, we have Blaple playing as the Mayans. The pocket, I assume, will be Morty. Yeah, so Morty is playing as the Lithuanians. And finally, we have Instagram playing as the Malians. So, I mean, this is Arena, so not a lot to talk about here. Although Blaple for some reason has 21 seconds of idle time on his TC, which which shouldn't happen.
Adut?
Oh man. So he had the idle TC, of course, because Mayans are always just housed at the start of the game. But he did not decide to get Zoom, which, yeah, I mean, I don't know why that happened.
Ashika?
And yeah, now he's just slaughtering a sheep and a turkey under his TC. And this deer, the deer will just go back if you don't send your scout forward. Yeah. Uh, Garrison, so at least we have one deer kill. Uh, Apart from that, not a lot going on. I mean, at this point, yeah, we can just, sort of check for the idle TC times, maybe the idle eco times, Instagram with a minute of idle eco. Yeah, I have that mod because, I mean, as you see, I'm extremely old, so quite a lot of times I do not notice sheep or turkeys or whatever under my TC. So I needed to take the roof off just to be able to see properly. That is a bad lure, by the way. Instagram. If you're garrisoning your villager after pulling in a boar, make sure that the boar follows the villager under the TC before you start, before you garrison the villager and shoot it with your other vills. Yeah, Henry is also old. But then Henry is not the one complaining about the transparent TC, right? Maybe Henry can actually use this mod. Hmm. So Instagram with an idle TC. And right, so he's making a villager right now. Let's just check out the scouting. And yeah, by the way, I actually saw your message, PJ, so I will just go over the civs. Give me a second. Let me just look at the scouting here. So Instagram, I mean, at least Instagram right now, he does know who his flank is. It's Warpy on the other side. I mean, of course, now if you know one flank, you know the other one. And the play is just pushing deer at this point. What is Morty doing? Morty's bringing in the boar. Fair enough. And man, look at Mort. Morty is just flexing at this point. He's rearing deer for his teammate. Yeah, so I mean, this this just this just screams some extremely high level planning of the games here from Stackers X. Like this has to be pre-planned where Morty would have told Instagram that I'll send my scout and help you push the deer into your TC. So if nothing else, what Instagram can do is he can just figure out the locations of the enemies. Anyway, yeah. So since we are talking about the the civs over here, so Morty playing as the Lithuanians makes a lot of sense on Arena because getting relics is sort of the play, usually on Arena. So you get at least a couple of relics, and Lithuanians are, I mean, pretty much unstoppable once they get like two or three relics in their monasteries. Malians is, I mean, it is an interesting pick, but then Malians have access to camels. They've got arbalests, although they don't get, I believe they don't get the final attack upgrade, bracer. So there is that, but Malians have access to arbalests, and Mayans, of course, they, I mean, they're a powerhouse still anyway. On Arena, I might have gone for something else, but I mean, at this point, I don't remember the save draft. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these look like saves that they had picked for Nomad. On the other side, Byzantines on Arena actually makes a lot of sense because the Byzantines player can basically just go for siege ram and trash, or just get a few bombard cannons out and start pumping halbs. So yeah, Byzantines definitely makes a lot of sense on Arena. We have Blizzard 42 playing as the Slavs. So Slavs again is a pretty interesting pick, but I mean, they get the cheaper farms. Sorry, not the cheaper farms, the faster working farmers. So there is that. But I mean, in the long term, Slav knights or whatever cavaliers against Lithuanian paladins. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely one-sided game at that point. So I don't know. Maybe he's planning to go for boyars or something. Could be an option for him. And Warpy going for the Berbers. Berbers again, I mean, makes some sense. You get the cheaper stable production. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, this should be interesting to see. So I mean, here's the thing, right? We had this issue where a couple of players had said that the Civ draft, when paired with the map draft, presents a sort of an uncertain pick. where you don't know which maps you're picking civs for. Which is why actually we've ended up with these weird civ picks, at least on Stackers X's side. But I mean, yeah, there is that. We wanted to see some sort of uncertainty over there. So, we didn't want players to have memorized their strategies and their civ picks or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah, my map draft is before the civ picks, but you have two home maps and your enemy has two home maps. So theoretically, you can play three games and you get to pick, I think it is what, 15 civs or something. I don't even remember at this point. But the thing is, there is always going to be that uncertainty, at least in these rounds, where you might be, sort of stuck with a civ composition or a team composition where you don't have like extremely good civs for at least one of your enemy's home maps. Okay, so yeah, apparently somebody just disconnected, or there might have been some lag here. You know what? These players should have just told me part one of the replay had nothing of interest in it. We could have just gone on with game two. Or sorry, part two.
Shot it.
Right. Blaplay will actually end up losing his scout here.
Ashike.
Because a feudal age eagle scout will lose to a scout cavalry. And yeah, I guess pretty much everybody except for Instagram is clicked up to Castle Age, and Instagram actually comes to his teammates' aid. Unfortunately, yeah. So Blapley actually loses a scout, and we have a scout fight going in here. Is anybody making barracks? I assume Morty would be because he needs the relics. Right. So Morty decides to go for a team for a town center. 3 DC boom. Right. So Morty's actually not going for any relics here, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, some scouts unfortunately died in the middle of the map. Poppy not yet to Castle. In fact, none of the three players for Vlan Clan are. Whereas for Stackers X, we've got just Instagram who is remaining. But yeah, I mean, it should be interesting to see what Blizzard decides to go for. I mean, as Blizzard said, he's around 1100, right? So it's roughly the same level that I am at. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested in seeing what he decides to do with Slavs because Slavs is not something that I usually pick on Arena myself. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, the scouting and everything is fine at this point. No fights yet, man. Okay, so Morty is building. This is actually surprising. Something from Morty here. He decided to go for 3 TCs before he made his monastery. Give me a second here. So apparently we've got a co-caster with us. Give me a second. Wait, what? There is no Dranzer, man. What the hell? Yeah, sorry guys. You guys can, yeah, just blame No Chance for that. So yeah, anyways, Morty is I expected this monastery coming in way earlier for him. But I mean anyway, let's see what he decides to do. I mean the Lithuanians player has to go for relics, right? So that is to be expected. And Instagram with his this is some extremely high level coaching here from Stackers X, man. These outposts, yeah. And okay, so Blapple is actually going for plumed archers. We did see that in the other game that we had, the BR actually picked mines on arena, and we had them making a shitload of plumed archers, and that was actually a game that they won. So it should be interesting to see here. Bloodwell is going for a castle as well. Will we see any cataphracts here? Let me just check out the resources. Do we have anybody going for imp? Nope. No imp. We've got two monasteries here from Bloodless. So yeah, I mean we are about to have a pretty massive fight for the relics, I assume. Building a monastery here as a flank, probably not, I would say. But then he's got a castle in front, right? So spears, I assume. Blood this. And just as I switch to Blizzard, I see him getting housed. Let's just take a look at the TC count. Right, so we've got Blizzard with 3 TCs, we've got Whoppy with 3, Bloodless decided to go single TC, right? And on the other side we have Blaplay with 2 TCs, Morty is on 3 and Instagram is on 2. And man, this is actually pretty interesting here. We have everybody except for the 2 pockets going for forward castles, or rather defensive castles, but you know, forward in their base. Military wise, we've got Morty's got 2 monks out already.
Close-o.
So yeah, he's got 1 relic. Oh, he's got 2 already. Wow. Unfortunately, we missed that. How many TCs does Doomster have? So he does know about the relic. I assume this monk is going for this relic, and we have Bloodless going to Imperial Age. He has no relics yet. Okay. And right. So meanwhile, at least this poor monk is about to go down.
Presto.
Will he? Yeah. So Blapley gets at least 1 monk snipe. Luckily, does not lose a single plumed archer to this castle here. Morty is at 2 relics. He's already bringing in a 3rd. He's shift queued his monastery here, so I assume that is one of the relics that he has picked up. And man, Morty is about to be on 4 relics. Wow. And Bobby going for some camel archers. And I mean that's a nice castle actually, if I may say so. I mean he's got control of this gold because of this castle, and if nothing else, he's denying access to this gold for Instagram. So there is that. So what is Bloodless going for? I mean, Bloodless does not have much of a military at this point. He's got just monks and he's got trebs and Blizzard's knights. Yeah, so just doing the right thing here. These knights should be forward. Unfortunately, I don't think this makes a lot of sense. These trebs, these monks will go down, I assume. Yeah, so that's 1 conversion. 2, 3 conversions here. 4 conversions. Wow. Oh man, so this is actually quite unexpected. So Bloodless is actually getting in quite a lot of conversions, and Blaplay is basically about to lose his base here. Because we've got Whoppy, we've got Blizzard, and we've got Bloodless, all 3 on Blaplay. So unless Morty decides to, you know, just send some military over to him, does he have any? No, he does not. He just has 4 monks at this point. So yeah, Blizzard making a siege workshop, which I mean it doesn't make sense at this point. There are these camel archers, you've got the knights, you've got these plumes as well. Eco-wise, stackers with about 15 more villagers, but yeah, I mean, Vlan Clan again with the higher military numbers. So, we saw this in the last game as well. I just hope that Vlan Clan actually decides to pressure stackers rather than, just hold them back. I mean, we are seeing that, of course. And Woppy is actually deciding to go towards Morty's base, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, he could just leave these camel archers here, try and stop any sort of reinforcements that might be coming in from Morty's side. Hey, Dr. Questionable, welcome, man. And we have Blaple going for fortified walls. Oh, man.
Shut it.
More conversions here for Bloodgris. I mean, Mayan, not. These plumed archers, I mean, you can micro them all day long, but yeah, the issue here is they were basically fighting under a castle. So, wait, why is Bloodgris not trying to take down this mangonel? Okay, so Bloodgris loses a Treb here. We have Woppy who is basically just milling around. These camel archers not doing a lot of work at this stage, but I mean he does have a pretty massive military. He's got 24 camel archers. We have Blizzard with 19 knights, and yeah, this gate is going down. Morty is 20 seconds away from him. I mean, of course, once these knights, cavaliers, whatever, start coming in, that can completely clear this out. The issue here is that Blaple might just die completely. Because you've got a massive military here. I mean, pretty much the entirety of Vlan Clan is outside Blaple's base. And, so Morty decides to build a defensive castle. He's researching light cav. Okay. Okay, so he does have the cavalry upgrade also being researched. Makes sense. And yeah, meanwhile, Blaple is trying to wall, or rather make a second layer of walls. But yeah, so Blaple is in Imperial Age. He's got 79 villagers. Unfortunately, just 13 plumed archers. So, I mean, 13 plumed archers against these +2 knights, and the fact that Woppy has these camel archers. Some castles going here, going up here from Woppy, but I mean, at this point, Woppy, I think rather than, making this castle here, just make a couple of threads, try and finish off Instagram. So, if nothing else, you then have a 3v2 situation, which you can definitely win. But, yeah, I mean, Blaple is about to die off completely here. And these hussars from Morty, they don't make a lot of sense. Like, where are these villagers going? Yeah, we've got 100 megs of internet. I myself am using 100 megs. I was actually thinking of streaming at 1080p 60 because I can do that. It's not an issue for me. Yeah, and Morty going for hussars or rather spamming hussars, I don't see the logic in that. I mean, he does not have the cavaliers to push against this and the knights from Blizzard, but I think just some extremely passive play here from Morty, which I mean basically meant that Blaple was left to die. And I mean Morty can use all the gold he wants on this map. Blaple is pretty much done anyway, and I assume after this, of course, they have to head for. Okay, so somebody has just dropped. I assume it's Blaple. And yeah, so this explains the third part. Let me just load that up. Yeah, so I guess we can just continue with this. Yeah, seems like we haven't lost anything else. And looking at the village account, so Blaplay is at 65, Instagram at just 77 at this point. Meanwhile, we have the Pocket here at 123 compared to Morty, who's at 152. I believe that's an overboom at this point. Because, I mean, you have the Cavaliers. You might push this mass of knights away in the short term, but yeah, I mean, Bloodless can sort of start booming now. He went for this fast temp, he did not boom initially, so he can start booming at this point. And Zaple is pretty much dead. He's got one plumed archer. And they are researching coinage as well, so Morty is about to send a bunch of resources to somebody at this point. I assume it will be for Blaplay. And will we see any boyars coming from Blizzard? I actually doubt that. I mean, he's got just 12 Cavaliers at this point. If there was ever a time to switch into a different unit, this would be it. And yeah, so Morty has pretty much cleaned up Blaplay's base for now. And Bloodless, yeah, Byzantine cheap trash. He can basically keep spamming these halves all day long. And there's nothing Morty can do about it. Unfortunately, he does not have the blacksmith upgrades yet. So, what is going on this side? Right, so we have the Malian champ skulls coming out. And a bunch of castles from Instagram. So we've got two castles, right? We've got a couple of trebs, and will we actually see Instagram pushing Warpy back? Because I mean, these are camel archers, but then you have these Malian champ skulls with 8 pierce armor, so they can actually hold back against. I mean, if you mask them up, of course. But Instagram can actually push back against these camel archers. And yeah, so Bloodless going entirely for halves at this point. He's got 52 halves, 6 monks, and 3 trebs. And yeah, Blapley I don't think will be allowed to reboom. At least not in his base. If he decides to go inside Morty's base, that's a different matter altogether. Okay, so right, and we have Morty coming in with the Paladin upgrade. Man, 14 plus 8 Paladins. Holy shit. Unfortunately, Blapley is. I mean, we've seen this in the last game where we had. I think it was Morty was trying to bring down the castle using halves. This time we have Bloodless trying to bring down a TC with that. Unfortunately, it's under castle fire, so you'll just have to wait for a few seconds before he decides to send these halves forward. No blacksmith. I mean, no final upgrade for that. Although I do not know if Byzantines get the final attack and armor upgrades. Anybody going for trade? I actually don't believe there is any need to go for the trade at this point. Although these guys are fully boomed, Vlan Clan has pretty much, I mean, almost double the military that Stacker's X has. And Blapley is pretty much dead inside his base. I mean, he's got a few obelisks, but he's being driven towards the back of his own base. So unless Morty comes in with, you know, some siege onagers cutting through this forest, this entire group of villagers, military, whatever you, is going to die. And yeah, Blizzard Cavaliers also coming in. Meanwhile, on the other side, right, so Instagram is pumping champ skulls. And I mean, these Hussars can't do anything to these champions anyway. It's just that, yeah, I mean, he's going to be fighting under Castle Fire again. So Woppy just, yeah, doing the smart thing, deciding to pull back his military. There's no need for him to, you know, be extremely aggressive, because we've got Latris who's going inside this eco here. I mean, it is still outside Morty's base. And what I do find surprising is that nobody has gone for Morty's relics yet, because I believe that is something that should have been spotted by now. Let me just check their scouting. So yeah, I mean, they can definitely see that Morty's got relics over here. So the moment they decide to go for these relics, you have these siege rams here, of course, in Blizzard. So although I do believe at this point they are going for the castles rather than the monastery yet. Yeah, so I mean, as I was saying, Blaple is pretty much completely dead. Just 30 villagers at this point. And somehow we have a paladin from Morty who has managed to get into Blizzard's base. Seems like has taken a bunch of TC fire, but yeah, I mean, so that paladin goes down, but man, I mean, Morty can do whatever he wants at this point. Unfortunately, the fact that Blaple is completely dead means that he can't do much. So, I mean, even with these champ skulls, with the 8 Pierce Armor champions, once you get this massive mass, that's 55 Camel Archers here. Yeah. I mean, this is pretty much GG at this point. And yeah, I mean, exactly, it makes sense. Why would they let Laple get back into the game? More than that, the one smart thing that they've done here is they've basically cut off this point. So Morty cannot send anything towards Laple if he wants to. I mean, he can do it from outside, but you've got these halberdiers and whatever just chilling here. And yeah, there's not a lot that can be done for Blaple at this point. Blaple is just dead. He's at 17 villagers. He's got 11 arbalests somehow. And yeah, these guys are dead as well. I think it is this is a GG at this point. On the other side, yeah. So as expected, Woppy can now just start clearing these champs. And military numbers. So we have 41 champs from Instagram. Hardly anything for Blaple at this point. Blaple is pretty much dead. And Morty's got 22 paladins, 12, 13 halberdiers, a trap, 2 monks. Yeah. So, a pretty nice comeback from Vlan Clan in game 2. And yeah, Morty's base has been breached now, so I mean, short term, yeah, he can defend against these siege rams or whatever, but yeah, I mean, this is a GG. Blaple with just 7 villagers at the end, completely wiped out. So, yeah, Vlan Clan playing extremely well on their home map. We got the equalizer here. And right, so this time we have Instagram, who is, I think he's just waiting for his enemy, his military to die before he resigns. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, GG. That is game 2. Let's just take a look at the stats. And Vlan Clan coming in with the equalizer. Military numbers. So, right, I mean, Morty got a pretty kick-ass number of kills here, but unfortunately, Blapley just died. So, this is the thing we saw in the first game, right, where Blapley was actually allowed to boom, and because of that, they could, basically just take the game to post-Imperial Age, and after that, Morty is unstoppable. Whereas in this game, they did a lot of damage to Blapley in Castle Age. And Bloodless with the fast Imperial. I think that was the play of the game here. Because that early pressure on Blapse meant that stackers could not do much once they got to Imperial Age. Yeah, that's a nice 22-minute Imperial for them. Society-wise, Morty with his 4 relics. Got a bunch of gold and 160 visitors as well. But yeah, I mean, there's no way he was able to push against or defend against the pretty much what was a 3v2 after that. Right, so that means we do have a game 3, which is on Hideout. And right, so which means I'll have to just change the overlay here. Give me a second, guys. Because we have a change in the players. We've got no chance who's playing. Yeah, exactly, Doomster. So we have no chance who's playing, and we have Blizzard and Bloodless, which means Whoppy has been benched for the third game. On the other side for Stackers X, they've got the same 3 players. So we've got Morty, we've got Blapley and Instagram. And let me just start this here. So Bloodless playing as the Britons. They've actually saved one of their best saves for the last game. We've got no chance of playing as the Magyars. I love this save, so should be interesting to see what no chance does with this save. And finally, we have Blizzard playing as the Vikings, another save that I love. So yeah, I'll be having a lot of fun casting this specific game. Meanwhile, Instagram playing as the Japanese flank. We have Morty playing as the Cumans, and finally we have Blapley playing as the Portuguese. Now we've discussed this before. I've talked about this. We've seen this in the games as well, where if everybody decides to go for a fast castle, it's fine. If even one player decides to go for some sort of aggression in feudal, it can completely like affect the outcome of the game. So it should be interesting to see if there is any feudal aggression here from either of the teams. So we'll have Instagram going up against Blizzard and Vikings versus the Japanese. Uh, I mean, I would just put my faith in Vikings at that point. On the other side, we've got Britons versus the Portuguese. So again, I would pick the Britons over the Portuguese. Pocket saves, I would say Cumans is a better pick compared to Magyars. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. Idle TC wise, Blizzard has 18 seconds of idle time. Instagram with 38 seconds. So I mean, both the flanks on this side they seem to be having some issues with their villager production, and we've got 3 sheep/goats being slaughtered under Instagram's TC. So yeah. Is Morty luring? Okay, so Morty is luring deer for himself, or rather pushing deer for himself. Let's see if he decides to do that for Instagram in this game. That is a bad lure, and he almost lost a villager as well. Right. And we have Blaple also pushing India. What about No Chance? Yeah, so No Chance, I assume, has pushed in at least. Oh, yeah, so there we go. He has pushed in at least one deer, owing to the fact that he has decided to just break his walls. Do that.
Yay. Mandatum.
And Blood's is doing the same. So. Oh, I thought he. I thought he killed his boar using his TC. So, yeah, anyway. This being hideout, again, not a lot that happens in the Dark Age. So, really the only thing you have to talk about is the idle TC times. You've got a minute and a half for Instagram and 30 seconds for Blizzard. Apart from that, 10 seconds for No Chance. I assume that would be because he was possibly pushing in the deer or something. Because No Chance, I believe, you're 1350 or something, right? So I wouldn't expect any sort of idle time from you otherwise. This requiring, with the extra micro with these walls on hideout, so I can sort of understand the 10 seconds of idle TC time that you had. And Morty just pinged something. His own TC, obviously, but yeah. Okay, so we have Morty going for 20 pop feudal, which is extremely interesting. I mean, he's playing as the humans. Ah, okay, right. So this possibly is just going to be a second TC in feudal age. For a second, I was wondering why he was going for scouts on this map. But yeah, I mean, as a humans, definitely, yeah, just makes sense to go for a second TC with 20 pop or whatever. Boom, the shit out of feudal age and get to castle age and just wreck everybody else. Or at least that's usually the plan, right? Ideal army composition. So we have Magyars, Paladins, I suppose, and Magyar Hussars mixed in to kill Siege. You wouldn't see a pocket going for cavalry archers in a team game. So, I mean, Magyars can make fully upgraded arbalests, but as the pocket, yeah, that's not likely. For Britons, yeah, it's just going to be a shitload of archers, possibly with some longbows mixed in. And on the other side, for Vikings can go for infantry if they want to, or they can basically just go arbalests and siege ram. For Japanese is an interesting pick on hideout at least because I mean they have fully upgraded arbalests again, so they can go for that. Samurai can be extremely powerful. So, I mean, we have two infantry civs on one side of the map. We've got the Vikings versus the Japanese. That can be interesting. For Cumans, yeah, it's Kipchucks and Paladins mixed in. And finally, for Portuguese, is an interesting pick. But I would say, I mean, they get their fully upgraded Arbalest again. So Portuguese would just go for Arbs, possibly mix in some sort of the organ gun shenanigans or whatever. Maybe even gunpowder if they want to go for, because of course they get the technology, right? The Arquebus technology, which gives ballistics on their gunpowder units, which can be extremely nice. So yeah, we've got Blaple in the feudal age. Morty, of course, has been on two TCs booming, which you can sort of see. I mean, it's still just early game, right? So he's at a 26 villager count, but I assume him, overtaking everybody else in the next couple of minutes. And so Bloodless has gone for an archery range. And he's already queued up Castle Age, right? So I assume this will be a fast crossbow play for him. And we have Instagram, who sent a bunch of his villagers forward. Of course, they will be spotted. And we have a tower coming in here, right? So it should be interesting to see what No Chance actually decides to do over here. Because Blizzard sort of being at around 1100 elo, if you have yeah, so I mean, this is of course the standard counterplay where you just drop a tower, so you're stopping at least any sort of forward push from this side. Of course, Instagram can just move a little to the side and start with a second tower. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, it should be interesting to see what No Chance actually does over here. Personally, my own opinion, I would say just let Blizzard handle this. Blizzard can take care of Instagram on his own. No Chance should ideally just go to the pocket and try and kill Morty. Yeah, I mean that stone gate is never coming up. Instead, if I mean Blizzard can basically just wall up to the stone on this side, build a defensive tower over here if you can. So at least your stone is not threatened, and try and build some houses here or whatever, and that could be the play. And okay, so on the other side we have Bloodthirst going forward with his feudal age archers. Of course, he is in castle age, so the crossbow upgrade is just about to come in. And Blapse passes these archers without spotting them. Guys, please use your patrol commands. We actually have a build order from Hera, a build order video or whatever from Hera, the Road to 2K series that he has just started. So yeah, I mean, never just send your military without using the patrol or the attack command. And yeah, we have some Dark Age militia here from Instagram. Yeah, I mean these guys are definitely not getting in. And age too late, I would say. If these guys were man at arms or whatever, they could have gotten possibly, but yeah, militias, no chance. And right, so no chance going for a 3 TC boom over attacking Morty, which is extremely interesting. I mean, like I said, I would have preferred if No Chance had just, sent whatever military he starts making to Morty rather than booming at this point. I mean, yeah, Instagram's push was never really meant to do anything because, I mean, fair enough, he can make these towers, but what is he going to follow up with? He's got these Dark Age militia. So he can just make a bunch of towers. The issue here is that he has completely wrecked Blizzard's game. And Blizzard having to put 5 villagers on stone. Whereas, I mean, as the Vikings, you sort of being pigeonholed into this defensive mode does not make sense. So yeah, Morty is at 54 villagers, booming comfortably. Let me just check the resources. This guy can, I believe, would be able to even do a sort of a fast imp if he wants to. And right, so meanwhile we have Bloodthirst who has managed to get in. What sort of damage is he doing? Because Blapse, playing as the Portuguese, of course, they get gold discount. And yeah, so Blapse should actually just, keep his crossbows inside his archery range rather than, trickling these out. Because he lost one, he might lose more. Let me just... Okay, so Blapse does have a university. I assume he's got ballistics as well. And Blapse is going for a second TC at this point. What's that? Red and teal, yeah, so...
Ready.
Exactly. Here's what it is. But okay, here's the interesting thing, which I've just noticed. Blapse effectively has no access to gold at this point. So unless he makes a siege workshop, makes a mangonel to try and push these crossbows out, these crossbows can basically just camp here all day, and there's nothing that Blapse can do about it. On the other side, I think this is the slowest man-at-arms rush that I've ever seen in my life. 21-minute man-at-arms, and they are I guess just content to look at the trees over here. And meanwhile, we have Blizzard, who's, I mean, he's not booming, of course, but he's on 2 TCs at this point. He's got 41 villagers, so that's like way more than Instagram at this point. But then here's the thing, Instagram, being the weakest player in the team, is still busy pressuring Blizzard rather than having any sort of aggression towards his own base. So yeah, I mean, he has basically managed to outplay an 11 or a 1200 elo player here, if nothing else. So, I mean, of course, long term, Blizzard can just, and yeah, we see that he's already, making a siege workshop and possibly a battering ram or two, and these towers will go down. But that's 20 to 23 minutes that Instagram has just bought for himself. Morty can get to Imperial Age, possibly sling him a bunch of resources, and yeah. Although I don't understand why Bloodless decided to send his crossbows back, because there was no siege workshop here from Blapre. So these crossbows should have been inside doing as much damage as they can. This TC actually protects his gold, so that's actually a pretty nice TC. Wait, is Bloodless 11? No, no, no. Blizzard is 1100 XX. Bloodless, I believe, is close to 1300, right? Yeah, Morty is on 3 TCs. It's a nice TC position as well. I mean, he's got access to gold, he's got access to wood as well. And I mean, long term, even though Blizzard is booming at this point, there is no military from anybody except for Bloodless, and we've got some from Blapre here. Okay, Morty is making some knights. I mean, in front of this, I would say Vlan Clan definitely has the upper hand over here. Britain archers, no chance, of course, playing as the Magyar, so he gets the free attack upgrades. And these knights, I mean, even though they are +2 knights, if Bloodless can sort of get inside a nice position, he can pick off these knights if he wants to.
Yeah, what?
So that's 19 crossbows for Blapre, and we've got 36 from Bloodless. And the fact that Bloodless also has ballistics. So yeah, there you go. And right, so Morty is making a watchtower over here. And yeah, smartly, Stacker is just deciding to pull back at this point, because it makes no sense to engage with this massive ball of crossbows. So even though Morty has more knights compared to No Chance, these crossbow numbers are pretty scary. However, on the other side, nothing much happening here. Yeah. Ah, okay, so we have a forward castle now from Instagram, which will deny Blizzard Stone. But what is he making? So Blizzard is not making any military at this stage. I mean, this is absolutely the wrong move at this point. Blizzard, there is no reason, and if you just look at the resources as well, he's floating almost 1500 wood and hardly any gold. So yeah, and okay, so on the other side we have Instagram with 1100 gold. So it's pretty equal on the other side, but yeah, Morty is just about to click up, I believe, to Imperial Age. He's got the monastery. Yeah, he's got 2 siege workshops as well. Yeah. And yeah, so Morty has clicked up. On the other side, we have Blackness and No Chance who clicked up. This has actually been a pretty passive game for, even though it's hideout, you sort of expect, some action in Castle Age. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much of that. And we have Instagram doing what Instagram does. Drops the forward castle, sends his villagers back, builds the stone wall. And unfortunately, I don't believe he has the stone to complete the wall. Ah, okay.
Salam.
He should have some soon. Oh man, but just look at Morty's production here. So how many stables does Morty have? Man, Morty is on 11 stables. I mean, there's no way he can pump the knights, cavaliers, whatever out of 11 stables. But yeah, I mean, he's not short on production numbers or production buildings rather. No Chance meanwhile at 5 stables. And we have No Chance who might be able to stop the walls from finishing. Oh, he was going for double layer walls. Interesting. And I think Instagram, if if yeah, Instagram should be able to finish this wall, I believe. Yeah, so that wall is coming up, and okay, on the other side, I guess we are about to see a massive fight over here. Morty's up to Imperial Age. No Chance actually getting to Imperial Age faster, so his cavalry upgrade is going to come in before Morty's. And Vlad is going for obelisks now. And Instagram's castle will be trapped down. The issue here is that Blizzard does not have any military. Yeah, so this will be cleared, but man, these guys need to move forward right now. Please do not pay attention to production buildings. Just get the hell inside their bases. And oh man, so No Chance somehow had the resources to not only get to Imperial Age faster than Morty, he got the cavalry upgrade and he now has paladins. That TC is... Wait, what? He could have easily finished off this TC, but I mean, fair enough. I think he's just trying to make sure that Bloodless's Arbalest don't die to Morty's Cavaliers. And yeah, Morty is just doing the smart thing here, not giving any choke points for these Arbalests to, pick off these Cavaliers in. Oh, but yeah, this is a bad fight now that No Chance is taking. So, I don't know, No Chance I think maybe lost like 3 or 4 Cavaliers before they're about to be Paladins. Unfortunately, yeah. We might even see Blapley deleting his... okay, I guess he does not need to. But... Man, so... No Chance... Wait, what the hell? No Chance has 36 Cavaliers at this point, about to be turned into Paladins. We've got 35, 36, 40 Cavaliers from Morty. But where is the rest of No Chance's military? Okay, yeah, so it's being pumped here. Man, please make some forward production buildings. But yeah, I mean, see, this is the overarching thing that I can see here is these guys seem to be taking fights separately. Whereas if you see Blapley and Morty, the crossbows or the cavaliers or whatever, I mean, they are fighting together. So yeah, I mean, with the composition that they have, Arbalest versus Paladins, there's no way they should be losing to this.
Ready.
And what is Bloodless doing? I don't even understand this castle here. No chance, I know you are in the chat. I assume you have vision. Why not a castle here? Seriously, why not a castle here? Because you have the military to make sure that the castle goes up. Uh, this castle, fair enough, it's on a hill, but I mean beyond that, it does nothing. It does not deny any of these resources. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why the push isn't happening. Like these guys can basically outrange anything at this point. And Morty is just about to have his own paladins now. So I think this might have been a throw from Vlan Clan here. Because honestly, they had a massive tech advantage. They had Obelisk, they had Paladins, uh, and on the other side, at that point, it was still Cavaliers versus, sorry, Cavaliers and Crossbows. So how the hell do you lose from that? Let, yeah, Morty. I mean, this micro, fair enough at this point, but you're still losing your Paladins, right? And this castle, of course, it goes up, but yeah, long term. I mean, like I said, what does it do for you? Okay, so Blaplay is okay. Blaplay is not actually losing anything because the castle was firing at these paladins. On the other side, we have siege rams and obelisks. I would have loved to see some berserks, man. Because Instagram, I don't believe he has any castles at this point. So yeah, he's not going to be able to make samurai anyway. Berserk Siege Ram is a pretty epic combo. Hmm. Push, push, push. Why the hell are you guys not pushing, man? And yeah, I mean, why would you want to even stonewall at this point? Uh, yeah, man, it's just me as the caster, Cyanide. No co-casters today, unfortunately. But I mean, this is a massive misplay here from Vlan Clan. So I mean, I still see that Stackers X is losing a lot of military, and I don't see any sort of trade being here on the G. Oh, wait, what? So we have Vlan Clan, who I assume, of course, have defeated Stackers X over here, but this is an early GG, man. This is most definitely an early GG. I mean, fair play to Vlan Clan, of course. They managed to kill these guys, but Morty was never really pressured. I mean, for that matter, neither was No Chance, but there was no tech disadvantage at that point, and I do believe these guys could see the stone walls coming up. So why the hell did they not just keep playing? I mean, they've done that in other games. Yeah. So I guess this is why. Instagram is dead, which means that you are about to see this massive ball of obelisks and siege rams heading towards Morty. Yeah, exactly. I just noticed that. And we have this migration here from Instagram. So right, so we actually have Vlan Clan beating Stackers X, which means, and this is not something that I expected to be saying, Stackers X goes into the loser bracket. Holy shit. Let me just show you guys the stats. I'll update the scores as well. So yeah, I mean exactly. Viking push was deadly unopposed. The thing is, Morty could have just Stoneward on his side behind Instagram and could have kept booming and started some sort of trade and pushed on this side because I mean these guys were playing extremely passively. Uh, they almost threw the game. I actually believed that they were throwing the game at that point. They should have been pushing with these Britain Arbalists and Magyar Paladins. So I know you guys are watching the game. Please, please, please keep pushing ahead. You guys had a massive lead at that point. And surprisingly, we have Blizzard with the largest military numbers in this game. Platinus close second with 79. Pretty much Arbalists, all of them. And yeah. Eco-wise, we had Cumans, so nothing surprising over there. Although no chance getting the bigger food count by 1,000 food. Tech-wise, yeah. So 31-minute aim from both these guys, and the fact that they got to Paladins faster. Yeah, I mean, I would say that won them the game. It's just surprising that I actually believe Morty underplayed compared to his level. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Vlan Clan. This is completely unexpected, and I'm really surprised over here. So yeah, anyways, Morty with 150 villagers. Dapse surprisingly only getting to 74 villagers, and Instagram at 50. Meanwhile, these guys, pretty much all of them, crossed the 100. Yeah, so we've got 106, 108, and 124. Yeah, so massive eco lead for these guys. And yeah, okay, so by the way, guys, I did not actually expect a third game in this. Not because of me underestimating any specific team or whatever, but yeah, I mean it's 11 p.m. and I haven't had any dinner or whatever, and what I can do is I can cast the second set tomorrow, which would be three-man saw versus logistic cars, which is also going to be an extremely interesting game, and I believe that will go to 3 games. So if I keep casting right now, it will probably be about 2 a.m. before the casting stops. So I think I'm just going to call it a night tonight. I should be able to start casting slightly earlier tomorrow, say about 8:30 p.m. and we should be able to get 2 sets done tomorrow. So yeah, I mean I guess that's it from us. Let me just update the winner brackets for you guys. We have
Hello. Cyanide?
hey, no chance, man. Welcome. Genuinely well played, man. Genuinely well played. Like hats off
Hello.
to you guys.
Cyanide?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, hey man.
Hey man, how's it going?
Going very well. Seriously
Yes,
well played for
I-
you guys, man. Seriously. Like this is
Yes, yes.
completely unexpected for me.
I mean, yeah, dude, like Bloodless played really well. Like he made sure that Blapley was hit early, and then after that, it was basically a steamroll from there.
Yes, but I still wish you guys had pushed these guys earlier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess after one point when you know that you're going to win, sometimes you can afford to be a little sloppy.
But
so.
I mean, did you
You
guys
should
know
not-
that you were going to win at that point? Because it was still a pretty
Yeah.
close game at that point.
No. Like I was full boomed, and secondly, on the other side, even
Right.
Blizzard was full boomed, right? And
Right,
we know
right.
that Britons are obviously better than Portuguese, right?
Exactly, yeah.
With the range and everything. So yeah,
Yeah. So
I think we only took one bad fight before the Paladins came in.
Yes.
But apart from that, yeah. So I was expecting him to also have Paladin. So that's why I wanted to take the fight. But yeah, there was some misplay there. But yeah. It did not
Definitely.
cost us anything. Luckily.
Yeah. I mean, see, overall, the moment I saw you guys getting to Paladin and Arbalest before these guys, I
Yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
believe that you guys were going to win. But then once I saw that you guys weren't pushing, and I actually saw Bloodless building those stone walls, which
Hmm.
I mean,
No. That's always good. See, what happens in this map is that there is no gold, right? After one point,
right,
this
exactly,
map has very limited gold. So
right,
we were setting up the trade.
okay,
Now, if someone keeps, spamming,
raiding,
let's say,
right.
yeah, raiding exactly their Hussar, then it's going to be a problem, right? So
Mm,
it's always advised to like stonewall your side of trade in order to keep it safe.
right. I mean, fair enough. You guys were playing, and you guys won, so I can't, say anything else. But yeah, I mean, genuinely well played to you guys, and
Yeah, thanks.
yeah. So we'll be
I think we would have won even like the first Arabia game. There were some small misplays, but
Hmm.
apart from that, I think we should have won even that.
Yeah. I mean, that was just unfortunate the way Woppy was bullied in the start of game one. But I mean, he managed to
Warpi's
make a pretty
timings
nice
were
comeback. Yeah.
yes. No, there were a few I would say misplays. Like
Hmm.
there was some like I think Bloodless had a hole in his.
Yes.
Yeah, that costed him a bit, but yeah, apart from that, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing was in the first game, Bloodless could never get completely boomed, right? He got a
Yes,
TC on his
he.
back gold, and
Yep.
then it was destroyed by the Cavaliers from Morty. So, sorry, the Knights
Right.
at that point. Yeah. But anyways, yeah.
Mhm.
So I have the brackets in front of me, which means I can announce that Vlan Clan is officially the first team to get into round 4. Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Tomorrow we'll be casting Three Man Saw versus Logisticas, and we'll be casting Hitterbase versus Warwolf from the loser bracket as well. And casting will go on, by the way, for the entire week. So if you're free, please join in. Should be fun.
Yes. So, wait, are you casting any games now?
No, it's almost 11:30. Because the second set is Three Man Saw versus Logisticas, which I expect to
Yes,
go
I
for the
think that's
entire 3 games.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I want to cast that game since it's my friends' games. Like
right.
BR Agent are my good friends.
Yeah,
I definitely look forward to casting that game.
definitely. So I'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow, and
Yep.
we'll
What time
start
will
with
you
that
start?
set.
Like 8:30?
8:30. Yeah, 8:30 p.m.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so cool, man. Well played, and GG's. Good night to you.
GG's, man. Yep.
And thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. I will be announcing this on the Discord server. So yeah, please join in tomorrow as well. It was fun casting today. Tomorrow's games should be extremely interesting, by the way. So yeah, good night and see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.